Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Lexi, and today we're gonna do a paranormal update. I haven't done one of these in so long. I was gonna do it earlier. I had my makeup on. I was gonna do it in the car, and last minute I was like, I don't really want to be outside right now. There's a bunch of people. Let's just do it inside. Like, I'm just gonna take my makeup off, put some comfy clothes on, and just chill, tell you guys these spooky stories. So it's not gonna be super long. It's just gonna be a couple things that happened recently, like super randomly. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about some stuff that's happened at my mom's new apartment when she first moved in. But before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. You can join our spooky fam where we do everything paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, and more. I will also be leaving my links down below and somewhere up here if you're interested. So let's just get into it. So if you guys haven't seen any of like my past videos, I had said how my brother moved in. Before he moved in, it was quiet. Like, nothing was happening. A couple weird things happened. Then he moved in and it's like the day of, and that week a bunch of stuff started happening. But every once in a while he will stay at my sister's house because his daughter lives out there, so he'll stay out there for like a week or two. So during that period where he was gone, nothing happened. It's super quiet here. I was thinking of redoing that haunted house video that I had done years ago, so I was writing down a bunch of stuff and I was asking him and my sister, like, what is the scariest thing you guys remember from that house? So they start texting me all this stuff. As I'm talking to him, my drawers start opening and closing by themselves. I talked about this before. I'm like, what the fuck? So I tell him that. I'm like, Abel, fucking drawer is opening and closing by itself. And that's like one of the things that scares him the most because it's right by his head where it just opens and just slams shut. I ignore it. I don't say anything more about it. And I go to sleep. So that same night, I'm going to sleep. Everything's normal. I don't feel creeped out at all. And I get woken up in the middle of the night, a woman's voice, and she was singing. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, where's that coming from? So I look out the window. No one's out there. I look at my cameras because there's two cameras on either side. No one's there. And I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? I'm like, what is that? So the day that he came back, we're talking for a little bit, and it was pretty late already. It was like 8, 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm gonna go walk Feather real quick. So I go outside with Feather. Like 3-4 minutes later, I come back in and I see Feather run to the bathroom. Her bathroom door is closed and the light is off, and she goes sniffing under the door. Why is he in the bathroom with the door closed and the light off like that? That's so weird. I'm like, Abel, are you in here? Feather's like sniffing under, and then she runs. Like, she's scared. Like, her ears go up and she runs. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I walk back there and I start hearing noises, and I cannot describe these noises. I don't know what it was. I hear weird noises back there, like somebody's in the bathroom. So I start going back there, start getting really freaked out, thinking he's gonna jump out at me. So I go back there. I'm like, Abel, what are you doing? Like, why are you in my room? I'm looking around my room. No one's in there. So I'm like, he has to be in the fucking bathroom. He wasn't out here. So I go back there. I'm about to open the bathroom door and I hear 3 loud ass knocks from the bathroom door. And I was like, Abel, stop doing that. Stop. Why are you doing that? Why are you scaring me like that? So I go and I open the door. It's dark as fuck and I don't have my glasses on. I can't see very well. But I'm looking around trying to see if he's in there, and he's not in there. I get this bad, sick feeling in my stomach. I slam the door, I grab Feather, and I start walking over here to leave. As soon as like I get to the front door swings open and it's my brother. And he's just standing out there. I could not get the words out of what just happened. And he's like, what? What? The only thing I could say was, something happened. Something happened. And he's like, what? What happened? So I'm like, go check back there. Check if someone's back there. I heard something back there. So he goes, nothing's back there. So I tell him what happened. I tell him that I heard the 3 knocks and I opened the door and no one was in there, but I could have sworn it was him. And he's like, I literally just went to the store and I just came back. I'm like, oh my God. Dude, that scared me so fucking bad. I haven't had something like that happen in a long time. So I'm like, that was fucking bad. I don't like that. So I don't know if it was the same night or the next night, but I'm pretty sure it was that same night that the 3 knocks happened. I'm asleep. I'm like really asleep, okay? I get woken up to a super bright flash in my face. So I sit up and I'm looking around. No one's there, obviously. The room is still super dark. Feather's sleeping next to me. And I hear my brother snoring, so I know he's asleep. So I'm looking around, I'm like, what was that? Like, did I dream that? I lay back down and I fall asleep again. I wake up to that again, to a super bright flash in my face. I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. I have no idea if it's paranormal or what the fuck that was, but I can't explain it because my room is super dark at night. So I wake up and I'm like looking around, I'm like, okay. So I fall back asleep. Happened twice and it hasn't happened since. So I don't know what the fuck that was. This next thing happened like 2 nights ago, and me and Feather were already sleeping. My brother was not here. It was just us two. I start hearing her in the middle of the night start getting up, like getting out of the blanket, and I see her walk to the edge of my bed and just sit there. So I'm looking at her. I'm like, what are you doing, Feather? And she starts barking. She does this weird bark right before she's going to bark. She goes, like she's scared or she sees something. She starts doing that, and then it goes from that to actually barking. She starts barking. I am so tired when this was happening too, so I grab my phone to check the cameras to see if maybe somebody's standing outside, because sometimes she'll hear stuff. So I check my phone. It's 3 a.m. on the dot. I'm not fucking kidding. I even took a screenshot because I was like, what the fuck? 3 a.m. on the fucking dot, okay? And then I go to the Ring camera app as well. No one's out there. No one's on the other side. She would not fucking leave. She was standing at the edge of my bed, just sitting there barking. And I'm starting to get freaked out. Finally, after like a minute, she finally calms down, creeped me the fuck out. I could not sleep after that. So right before I started filming, I started grabbing a couple things from the bathroom, like my chapstick. I hear her start running from the bed. She jumps down and she runs over here and she starts barking again, like loud. So I look at the cameras again. There's no one there. So I'm like, oh my fucking God, dude, where are you barking at? So the last couple things that I wanted to talk about is about my mom's apartment. A couple months ago, she moved into this new apartment. It's a really nice, like, luxury apartment, okay? The first night that I came over, I did not like the way it felt in there. I didn't tell her that, but I just did not like the vibe in there. But I ended up sleeping over that night. I'm hanging out with her, my brother, and my stepdad. I'm like, Mom, can I go to sleep in your room? She's like, yeah. So we're in her room, we're watching movies, and we both start falling asleep. I think it had been like an hour or two that I was already sleeping. I wake up to a female voice, like in my ear, say, who? And it almost sounded like a jealous person, like who? Like who's that? Something like that, but it was right in my ear. And I woke up and I'm looking around, I'm like, I lay back down, and then Feather starts waking me up because she had to go to the bathroom. And it was already really late. So I'm like quietly getting all her stuff. I'm putting her collar on, her harness on, and I'm going outside. I'm so quiet, okay? My little brother's room is right there. And I hear him open the door super quick. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? And he's like, why are you banging on my door? I was like, Ethan, I literally just walked up super quiet, not to make any noise, so I wouldn't wake anyone up. I was like, why would I be banging on your door? He's like, well, somebody just banged on my door. And I was like, that wasn't me. It wakes my mom up because we're talking. So she comes over and he's like, Mom, somebody's banging on my door. And I was like, yeah, no, I swear it wasn't me. Like, why would I purposely try to wake you up? As we're talking about this, I tell him, I'm like, I was sleeping in there and I heard a female voice in my ear say, who? And he's like, oh my God. And he gets freaked out too. My mom's so mad. She's like, stop fucking talking about it. Stop talking about this stuff. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm sorry. The next time that I go and I visit over there, it's me, my sister, and my mom. We were having a couple drinks. We're hanging out. At this point, my mom had been living there for like a month or two. And while we're talking, we hear a fucking bang. We hear a fucking loud bang. We look around, and guess what it was? It was my mom's crucifix that she keeps on the wall. It fell down. That crucifix has never fucking fallen like that. We look up and the nail is still there. So we're like, how did that fall off? She was just like, whatever, I don't want to talk about it. You guys better not be talking about this shit in my house. I'm like, all right, fine. Those couple things happened, which I think were super fucking weird. I wanted to tell you guys this story, okay? So back in the day when we were going through like back in the day when we were still going through the brujeria stuff with my mom's mother-in-law, one of the first times that she took us to a curandera, the one that said that she couldn't take it off after a couple sessions, she would use these big cigars, okay? And the way that she would do her ritual, the way that she was able to see everything was by smoking these big cigars. And in that smoke, she could see everything that was going on. She could see who was doing it. She could see all kinds of stuff, right? She was doing a session for my mom, but I was there. We're sitting outside and I was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and she kept looking over at me. At this time, I was starting to struggle with drugs. I had just gotten over Matt at the time. I had OD'd. I got clean for a little bit, and then I went back to my mom's house and I broke it off with Matt, and I wasn't gonna see him again in my mind. I was going through a lot of shit at this point. So she finally is done. She tells my mom, like, this is gonna be really tough to get off of you. I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, and she looks at me and she starts shaking. She starts shaking. She's like, every time I look at you, I start to feel what you feel. And through that smoke, like when you take a puff of a cigarette and all the smoke comes out, I can see everything that has happened to you. She's like, you were doing drugs, right? I'm like, yes. She starts telling me all kinds of shit, okay? She's like, this guy that you were just with, you were doing drugs with, that you OD'd with, you guys are gonna get back together and you're gonna be together for at least 2 more years. And I was like, there's no fucking way. My mom's looking at me like, you're not gonna get back together with him, because she saw the bullshit that he put me through. And I was like, Mom, I'm not, I'm gonna stay clean. She's like, no, you're not. I'm telling you right now, no, you're not gonna stay clean. Like, I could already tell you're withdrawing, like you're fiending for more drugs. You're gonna relapse. And I was just quiet, and my mom was quiet. She had tears in her eyes. I had tears in my eyes. And she kept telling my mom, she's like, bring her, and I will do a session just for her. So yeah, she's like, bring her back, like I will get her cured, I promise. Like, a lot of my clients are people that were addicts, and I was able to take all of that off of them, and now they're thriving, they're doing well, they've been clean for years. Bring her. So my mom's like, okay. So we planned it, and I fucking relapsed. I relapsed, and I went in and started hanging out with Matt again. How long was I with him? I was with him for 2 fucking years. 2 fucking years. And she said that she was able to see all of that through me smoking a cigarette. Smoke is so fucking powerful. It really is. But that's pretty much everything that's happened. Like I said, it hasn't been a bunch of stuff. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, have a good night, wherever you guys are. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.